there is 100 years of conscious intent on designing and creating these things to better our life, our human existence as a society. So if you're saying that because of conscious design from humans, right, creating this robust, you know, monetary, social structured system that we see now, yeah, but it took actual conscious intent to do that. Like it just didn't happen. We focused on making this happen.
What does that have to do with evolution?
Because it gives the idea of design. You're familiar with the watchmaker's theory?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, no one
But
walks up on a watch on the beach.
yeah, but we know that watches are designed. We don't know
That.
that life is designed. It's a circular argument if you apply that to life.
Using the argument, it's a circular argument in a way to not contradict, but to as a kind of like a gotcha moment. Like ask somebody about regression, like infinite regression. Their argument's circular. Well, it's just infinite regression because it's infinite regression. Like
That sounds like a tautology, but I don't know what that has to do with evolution either. So, like, for what examples of design do you see in life?
the symbiosis in which your lungs work cohesively with trees that produce oxygen, with how your eyes work receiving photons so that you can see and translate that into something that is usable for you as an entity. Everything is symbiotically related. Otherwise, it would just be a bunch of atoms randomly bumping into each other like freaking pachinko balls.
Well, atoms do bump into each other, but natural selection favor like there. What would be a good way to put this? Like not everything can see. So if sight is such an advantage, then why would a designer not give eyeballs to trees, to bacteria, or whatever, to worms? Some worms have eye spots, but worms not really an actual taxonomic group is another problem.
Maybe the designer didn't want them to and wanted us to.
Okay, see, that's not an explanation. Maybe
Sure it is.
retroactively I can just say this is what the designer would have done. Like this isn't a working model or an explanation.
Do you know for certain? So then we're all just speculating, right? You're speculating. I'm speculating.
Yeah, but in science, you can make testable. We do our best to make testable speculations, and when tests don't confirm what we thought, we throw old bad ideas out, but we develop new ideas.
I agree.
Happens all the time.
To date, have you had a testable speculation that disproved God's existence?
That disproved God's existence.
Yes. One
Well,
where
I
you
don't.
could say unequivocally, without doubt, empirically, here you go, God does not exist.
No,
That
because
day,
you can't do that with the supernatural realm, but there are logical contradictions that make a particular God somebody believes in the equivalent of a married bachelor. So you can throw that out. But I don't. There are people that think gods, like literally God, can't exist. I don't really waste my time arguing about that kind of stuff. So again, I just kind of want to focus on more of the scientifical stuff.
I gotcha. Yeah, I would say, look, I appreciate you seem like a pretty educated guy. The only thing I would say, and this is just, don't take this as a snark, I'm going to preface it with just a very simple proposition. You're inviting people, you sound like a very intelligent guy. You're inviting people up who may be, in some cases, way less intelligent than you. And again, you're inviting them into your space to have a debate. Maybe receive it with a little bit more humbleness of like, all right, well, let me try and explain to you my point without diminishing you and trying to, laugh you or scoff at your philosophies and ideas.
I've been doing this for like 3 years. I know I there are very few days where I hear something I haven't heard before, and I know what the good arguments and the bad arguments are.
Okay, I'm I'm confused as to how that relates to what I just said.
Because I laughed at VOR because everything he says is bullshit.
Oh, I got you. I got you.
I've heard
I
it
mean, listen,
before.
his simulation theory again, brain in a vat, man. It's easy to scoff at something, but until these are proposed or
That would
posited
that would
scientific.
that would prove a being of sufficient technological ability as much as it would prove a creator. In fact, I would argue it proves that far more than a creator, because we actually, if we approach this from like using Bayesian reasoning, pulling on priors, we know that weak simulations exist because we can make them. We don't know that a supernatural creator exists. So if you want to go with like what's the better explanation, the theistic explanation defaults to last place.
I'll close with this with the Big Bang Theory, right? Everything expanded out rapidly. Would we agree with that?
Kind of, sort of, except that makes it sound like the universe used to be this big and now it's this big, which isn't how to correctly think about it. It's always been infinite.
I didn't reference size or anything. I just said whatever size you want to attribute, we can attribute, and then say I'll agree with you. But let's just say everything expanded outwards in a 360-degree all directions, right? Or is that not accurate?
Not really, because it expanded in all directions from all perspectives. And when you say it like that, it sounds like it expanded from the middle, which is not really the case. It's more complex than that.
Explain to me, then uncomplicate it for me, and explain to me how it expanded outwards. Where is this
So
theorized
space
starting point?
itself is expanding, but there's no middle to the expansion. If you just take like a big grid of dots and you copy and paste those dots and then take the corners of the one on top and just pull it out a little more, this is a really great way to visualize it. You'll see that progressively, the farther away you get, all the dots get farther away. But no matter where you shuffle that, it always does that from all perspectives. So again, when you say space expanding, it expands from all directions, and it's very, very difficult to word that in a way that doesn't make like some sort of anthropic, I don't want to call it a fallacy, but like that doesn't take it from our perspective and say, yeah, from here everything expanded, or from over there everything expanded. It's, again, it expanded outward in all directions from all perspectives.
But when you think about, and it's easy to say, well, space is expanding too, right? And
Yeah.
that sounds intelligent, and it might just very well be intelligent. But then you have to think, what is space expanding into? If space itself is expanding, what is it expanding into? Because we can't then just disregard that outer edge of space that's being expanded and just disregard it.
Well, there isn't an outer edge for all from everything we can glean about the universe. It doesn't have an edge. It just literally goes on forever. But
Correct.
but I don't know how, even if the universe was finite and expanding into something, but we don't know what it is. Like, what's it supposed to be? God's bosom or something? What would that? Where's this? How is this taking us to theism?